Hey there, everybody, and welcome to our show. It's called Tournament Horse Racing. My name is Rich Sharp. I'll be your host for tonight's event. Here's what we've done. We've taken the horse racing calendar, we've broken it up into four separate horse racing tournaments throughout the year. And each one of those horse racing tournaments is going to consist of 10 individual horse racing days. Those horse racing days include four races, which is what we'll be doing tonight. And whoever wins the most money after those four races wins the most money for that individual tournament. We keep track throughout the 10 racing days throughout it. We're actually closing in on the end of that first racing tournament of the year. And whoever has the most money at the end of that racing tournament wins that tournament. And we actually keep track all the way throughout the end of the year. We have a year-end champion as well. We give out prizes, the whole shot. That's how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my horse racing analysts, actually all my friends as well. And in no particular order, I'm going to start just a little bit to the north of me. He lives in Menifee, California. Steve Newsom, what's new and exciting in your neck of the woods, my friend?
Not a whole lot. I started growing some vegetables though. Got little trays over here that are little green light houses. Pretty cool.
You sometimes present new and exciting information every week, Steve.
Yeah. Come on.
If I was going to bet on what it was you were, no, I had no idea you were going to bring up vegetables. All right, and just a little bit to the south of me here in Temecula, California. I'm really hoping he's not growing vegetables as well. But Joe English, what's going on, man? How you been?
I'm good, and yeah, Rich, like you, I didn't think vegetables were
Yeah,
anywhere near this.
yeah,
I,
that was no fun.
I think this is the first time vegetables have ever made it onto the show.
Not
However
even on the
many.
table. Yeah.
Hey, you know what you asked,
Right,
Rich?
I guess I can't complain.
It's what was new.
There's time for everything.
All the way on the far on the far side of the country. The one who stayed up the latest to go ahead and join us here on Tournament Horse Racing is my good friend Ray Torado in Staten Island, New York. Ray, what's going on? How you been, my man?
Been good. I spent Sunday night, Monday night in Atlantic City, had a good time. So then, that was a nice time
The
with my
picture.
mom, my daughter. So,
No,
happy 75th birthday for my mom. We celebrated my birthday too, from last week. So we had a good time. We walked around, gambled a little bit, won. So
Ray, the
cool.
picture.
Life is good, right?
Yeah, the pictures. The pictures were fantastic. I loved them, man.
Yeah. It's a nice place.
All right. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead. We're going to move into our horse racing schedules. Before I do that, go ahead and let me just give you our little disclaimer here that Steve, Ray, Joe, and myself, we are actually all just horse players who really enjoy the game of horse racing. This is not a touting service. We are not selling our picks in any way, shape, or form. We are all just horse players who really enjoy the game of horse racing. We hope you do too, and that's what our show is all about. And again, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to take you back to, well, it's actually 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we did have a blank spot that was there. That's my fault. I got a little ill and was not able to make it just a couple of weeks ago. But that was for the Tampa Bay Derby. So that is also here on the Derby Trail, which is what we're all on and what we're all looking forward to. We're getting closer to it here. I think we're about 5 weeks out from the Kentucky Derby, gentlemen.
7, Rich.
7. There you go. Thank you, Joe. And with that, at the Tampa Bay Derby, as you see there, it was Ray who edges us out there with $17.80. He defeats Joe and picks up just a little bit of ground on our leader. And that brings our total there for quarter number one. As you see there, Joe still got a lead. Ray got a little bit closer there, and Ray moves into second place. He's also got 2 wins on the season. Hope is not lost for me and Steve as we trail there in third and fourth, respectively. And again, this is a year-end competition, so all these totals are going to are going to carry over to the year end. So it does matter how you do each and every week. For this particular week, as you see, we had a break, so it was unfortunate that I did fall ill there for the Tampa Bay Downs Derby. We did take our break in between that, and then we came back, and this is going to be down in Louisiana, in New Orleans, for the Fairgrounds Race Course, Louisiana Derby. Fairgrounds Oaks is actually not in this particular selection tonight. Sorry about that, folks. Kind of a slim field, so we did go ahead and skip that one. I will let you know, and we discussed this just before the race started, that Saturday, the 25th of March in Louisiana, looks like they've got temperatures at 87 degrees, cloudy early with partial sunshine expected. A stray shower, a thunderstorm is possible. Sounds like normal Louisiana weather for this time of year, but a fairly nice racing day. And unless anybody has anything else, what do you say we go ahead and get started and take a look at our racing card for the evening, gentlemen?
All right.
We're going to start with race number 8. They are going a mile and a 16th on the turf. It is the Tom Benson Memorial Stakes. Purse is $100,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is right there in post number 1, Adventuring, trained by Brad Cox, ridden by Luis Saez, 2-1 on the Fairgrounds morning line. And you know what, Mr. Torado, you're going to kick us off this week. You're batting leadoff.
All right. Cool. It's a big field of 10. I try to stay away from the favorite this race. I just did take a shot here with the number 3 horse, Trail Ridge Road. This horse, um, you know, she's she's been close a few times in stretch, as you can see, second, third, second, fourth. She won a few times, but I'm hoping that the addition of Joel Rosario will push her down the stretch and um, get her home. You know, she's been running in this company a little bit. It's a minor stake race, so she ran last time, finished third. She's okay at the distance, 2 out of 3. Fairgrounds, 1 out of 2. So she belongs here. It's gonna be a position race. Hopefully, in a post 3, she could get a good trip. And Chris Block has some good percentages there, 22%. Doesn't hook up with Rosario too much, but I guess if he if he was able to leave, I think it was the favorite, was it? Yeah, he left. Yeah, venturing. He left the venturing to go this horse, so I trust his judgment. And I'll go with Trail Ridge Road, 12-1. The price will probably come down a little bit because of him, so but I expect hopefully a good ride for him and be in the money. So Trail Ridge Road for me. Who's next?
You're handing off to your right, so you're getting off to Joe.
Okay, Joe.
Okay, I'm on a 12-1 shot as well, but it's just inside of Trailers Road. 2, New Boss for Deshaun Parker and Brett Calhoun. She's been running in sprints of late, but back in 2021, she finished third by a half length at the Pepin Stakes at Churchill Downs at a mile. And she had actually won a race that's not on the PPP. She actually won a race, an ungraded stake, at the same distance at the Fairgrounds. So I'm not discouraged by the fact that she hasn't been trying a mile. She's won it. She's run it a mile before, or at 2-turn distance before, and she's won. The horse she's been getting beat by, obviously, I can't even pronounce the name. She's won 3 straight Fairground sprints, so she obviously is a big horse for the course. And New Boss improved last time, running second against that same horse, that same rival. And I like the combination, the barn combination. It's funny. I see that over the last 60 days, it's 0 for 16, but the stats over a 5-year period between that jockey and trader combination is 28%. and Calhoun is 25% with stretch out candidates off and in the money finish going shorter. So I'm going to take a shot with the two new boss at 12-1. Like Ray, I was staying away from the favorite. Not that Adventuring can't win, but I also think she's going to come down in price because Brad Cox has just been on fire down at the Fairgrounds. So give me the two new boss at 12-1. The new boss is same as the old boss.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Rich or Steve?
You're handing off to me.
Okay, all you, Rich.
Boy, this is going to be a tough one. Uh, I had two horses just in case I got blocked. Oh boy, I'm gonna hate myself in the morning. I know one way or the other. I am not gonna feel good about this. I'm gonna go six. I'm gonna go Didia. Uh, had a little bit of success with this angle a little bit earlier this year. Ray, I know you'll back me up on this. This is an Argentine horse, Ignacio Correas. He actually is a very good trainer that brings over a lot of these Argentine horses. I'm not familiar with the jockey, Vincent Cheminade, but the horse has won one, two, three, four, five races in a row, including one that was a mile and a quarter that was down there in Argentina. That looks like it was a grade one, had 16 horses in the field, and then came over here at Colonial Downs, kind of an up and coming turf track that, as Joe pointed out earlier this year, does actually have a synthetic race course that goes around there. But these were both turf courses, and the horse won that first race over here in the United States, and then came right back in a $150,000 stakes race, and came right back and won that one also in a closing field. I was torn on this one. There's another horse that I really liked in this one. I'm not going to give that away at this point in time, but I will go ahead and put in the six for myself. And Steve, you're going to bring up the rear for us.
Yeah, Rich, I'm actually on the same horse. Didia. Is that how we're pronouncing it? Didia?
God, I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah. And like Rich said, the horses won 6 or 7 on the turf. It's won both races at the distance that it's raced in. Uh, so the horse should be comfortable on the turf at the distance. And like I said, won basically last 5 races, 6 of the last 7. So see if she can keep her winning streak going. Hopefully, get better than 3-1. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I'm hoping we can get better than that. Okay. And so that puts us on the books there for the first.
In the morning.
Yeah, for this first leg, and let's go ahead and move to race number 9.
Joshua,
In this
tell me
one,
where it is.
who's
I'll
this?
be gone before you wake up.
Sorry about that. Excuse me, guys. We're going to go on to race number 9, and they're going a mile and an eighth. This is the New Orleans Classic Stakes. It's presented by Raylene G. by Hagyard. Grade 2. Purse is $500,000. It's for 400,000 for 4-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is in post number 2, and that is Art Collector, trained by Bill Mott and ridden by Junior Alvarado. 8-5 on the Fairgrounds morning line. And Joe, you're going to go ahead and lead.
That brings a smile on my face just seeing his name in the PPs, knowing that you're getting 15-1, not tomorrow. But anyway, this race came up real interesting. Unfortunately, I think it's a victim because tomorrow is also the Dubai World Cup, and some of the horses that are running there for, I don't know what the purse is, 5-6 million or whatever. Look at the 500,000 at Fairgrounds and say, that's not really worth it. But anyway, this field came up interesting in that the most likely speed horses are all drawn inside, basically posts 1, 2, and 3. All seem to be willing to go, and how it develops is going to be an interesting way. It's going to be interesting towards who's going to actually turn out to win the race. I didn't pick any of those three. The other, the two is 8 to 5, and the three Westville Power is 2 to 1. I went with the Pletcher Invader, Reinvader, Pioneer of Medina, number 8. He's 9 to 2 on the morning line. Somehow I don't know that you're going to get 9 to 2, especially considering it's Pletcher and it's Diaz, and that he won a race. He won the Mine Shaft last time. Uh, yeah, I get that the other two horses have bigger speed figures, especially on the buyer scale. Art Collector's 107 last time out was standout. But he beat, Pioneer of Medina beat some of these horses last time, Mr. Wireless and Run Classic and Happy American in that Mine Shaft. I think he's going to get a wonderful trip. Like I said, the three speed horses drew to the inside, and I think he'd be able to just get in behind those three, probably stay in the clear, maybe 2 or 3 wide, following those top three and pounce when he needs to, obviously in that long stretch. Pletcher obviously does well locally at Fairgrounds. I mean, he's about 25%, which is just a little above what he normally does. And obviously, Sai is sticking with this horse. He's been aboard the last three races. Obviously, winning the Mine Shaft last time, and he shows 2 bullet workouts at Palm Beach Downs. The one on March 4th is the best of 26, going 49. So like I said, I think he's gonna get a really nice trip if he's good enough to beat Art Collector, and somehow if Art Collector gets trapped and isn't able to sit outside like he did like World Cup, and maybe Pioneer of Medina gets first run, maybe he. So agree to the 8 Pioneer of Medina in race 9, the New Orleans Stakes. Rich.
Yeah, no, this is the tough thing about this show now is, and at least I'm sitting behind Joe in this one. I do have the 8 as the top choice on mine. I'm going to go ahead and pivot and go to the 3. Um, we're down to 3 legs left in this particular tournament. I do still have a chance of catching Joe, but not if I match his picks. So I'll go ahead and take the speed horse here. Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt, and this is for Gary and Mary West, so the aptly named West Will Power. I'm not a huge Bernardini Sire fan, but the horse, if you look there, is the speed type. Has put up some really big speed figure numbers on the board. Obviously, likes the lead. Has Flavian Pratt aboard. The only second there was to Proxy there in the Clark. And other than that, second there to Last Samurai in the Razorback in the last opportunity. So um, I probably would have gone with the 8 had Joe not blocked off that opportunity for me. But that actually gave me the opportunity to go ahead. I will go ahead and try with Westville Power. So I've got the 3. Interestingly enough, I've got multiple picks here where I've got to have to circle because I've got multiple picks in there. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Steve.
All right, I'm gonna go with the 5, Rattle and Roll.
Okay.
There's put up some nice speed figures. Likes to come from behind, so maybe if the race gets off to a fast start, burn out those horses up front. But yeah, Hernandez and McPeak, they're winning at 22% clip, 18 races, and the horses won at the distance. So I'm going to go with a little bit better price here at 10 to 1 and take Rattle and Roll. Ray?
It's a very interesting turn of events here. I was
Yeah,
also on the 8,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. This could have been a shit
but
show if Joe didn't go first.
I was also on the 8. So I'm gonna go over to the number 7, Mr. Wireless. This is get a little diversity here. I mean, I figure if I pick a horse, it'd be a horse that finished second to Pioneer and Medina. So
He picked
you
him
see a
too.
little more nudge to get there. So he's been running well. This is you know what? It's a wide open race. I mean, our collector did this thing last time, but the thing is that can he do it again? He's very inconsistent. Either he's all or nothing. So you know, he might take a few races to get back into his to his groove. So we gotta take that chance. So I'll go with Mr. Wireless. And hopefully, Parker, Calhoun, they're doing pretty, good in the past, like Joe said before.
Mhm.
So he likes Fairgrounds, and he hasn't won yet, but he's had 3 seconds. So maybe this is his time. Fourth race off a layoff, so maybe he's been steady. So if a few of them fall, he might be there. So Mr. Wireless
It's
for
funny.
me.
The interesting thing about Art Collector is after running the way he did in the Pegasus World Cup, you wonder why they didn't. I mean, and maybe they did and just decided not to. Why not try? Why not try Dubai?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I mean, again, maybe he's not a great shipper. Maybe they were thinking, long term he's not because I mean he obviously ran in the race last year, did not run well, so maybe that was just a bad experience.
Right. Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
want to do that, but
All
still,
right.
I mean, if he wins 60% of 500,000, that's not a
Oh,
bad
sure. Yeah.
consolation prize, I guess.
Hmm.
Okay. We're all set. We're going to move into race number 10. They are going a mile and an eighth. It is the Muniz Memorial Classic Stakes. It's presented by Horse Racing Nation. Grade 2, purse is $300,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upward. Your morning line favorite is right here, just right there in post number 1. It's Atone, trained by Michael Maker and ridden by Luis Saez. 5-2 on the Fairgrounds morning line. And look at that. This one's me. I get to go first on this one. And even though I split my picks just in case I was sitting on someone else, I'm going with Spooky Channel. Jason Barkley is the trainer. I do not know a whole lot about Jason Barkley, but I do know a little bit about Joel Rosario, who is one of the best jockeys in the game. And that's a significant upgrade from Jimmy Graham. The horse actually took a year off. If you look down here, between this race here and October of 21, there at Keeneland, and then coming all the way back in December of 22 at Fairgrounds in the Delberto Memorial, and won that race. Excuse me. And wins that race, which is a mile and a 16th race, and then steps right back up to the JB Conley. That's one of the bigger races that's down there at Houston. It was a mile and a half on a soft ground, and even though the horse was favored, does finish his third. Uh, I hate that word. You guys have known that before. It's the worst 4-letter word in horse racing is hung, and at a mile and a half at JB Conley down there at Houston, which is a little bit of a bull ring, kind of a smaller track. So I think we're going around 3 or 4 times possibly. Uh, the horse has won 3 of the last 4. Again, a couple of those were a couple of years ago. If looking at the horse racing form, so I went ahead with number 5. I've got Spooky Channel, and let's see here. I'm sorry,
Up to me.
Steve. That's up to you.
Yeah. I went with the 7, another mystery. The Flavian Pratt on board. Don't know a lot about Chris Block, but Flavian Pratt on turf, winning at 23%. Horse got a lot of experience on turf, 6, 5, and 4 in 28 races. Has won at the distance. And he's ranked secondary in the prime power out of the field, so that's not too bad either. So 6-1. I'll take Flavian Pratt on another mystery. Ray?
I'm on Richard's Horse 5, Spooky Channel. I won't change because if even if we both win, we'll be good. Yeah, Rosario,
Yeah, but what about if I took Spooky Channel?
Shut up.
well,
Just shut up.
You'll have to wait for 30 seconds or 60 seconds to find out.
Yeah,
that's right.
shut.
Then we'll all win. Okay. Um, Yeah, he's like Rich said, he ran well last time, won before, so he's he's running well. He's 12 hours 27, so Rosario big upgrade, and um he should be in the race. He's got good tactical speed, and there's some speed in his race, so he should get a good trip and get the distance. He definitely get distance because he's been running longer, so this is a little short of him. So um he's 8 years old. He's getting up there in age. He's a gelding. He loves to run, so let's keep running him. Spooky chattel for me and Rich. Joe, don't say that word.
Well, I will say that the one horse in this race that I was never going to pick was Tone, because if he wins, he's not going to help. I mean, he's not going to help you guys, and he's not going to help me by blocking you guys. So I was never going to take a Tone anyway. And I did consider Spooky Channel, but I did not take it. I am on the same horse as Steve. I am on another mystery.
Oh, you're gonna block the guy that's in last. That has no shot.
It has nothing to do with blocking Steve. He's like $80 behind me. Steve's really not my biggest concern. So I could have really easily just shifted and said I'll go to Spooky Channel, but no, I'll stick with the horse that I was going to pick originally.
Yeah.
But Pratt rode this guy back at the Elkhorn, back at Keeneland. He had 2 races from the bottom when he ran against our old friend Channelmaker. It was obviously a decent enough effort running second. He's got enough tactical speed. At least the last couple of races have shown he can stay close in case 2 Emmys somehow gets away. I just don't see a Tone letting that happen. But if he tries it, like I said, I think another mystery is tactical enough that he can be close enough to make a run. And even if he runs second, that would be. I mean, if 2 Emmys wins by 4 and he runs second, that's fine. His only real bad effort, other than the Louisville race, was race at Gulfstream over the synthetic track. And Chris Block is solid. Obviously, having a solid meet, 33%, limited starters, and he's actually used Flavian Pratt 7 times before over the last few years. They've won 2 races. It's a small sample size, but at least they do have a positive ROI. And if you don't know who Chris Block is, I'm not sure we've done a lot of races. We didn't
No,
really
not
do
a
a lot
whole
of
lot,
races
no.
in Chicago, but when we did the Arlington Park race, Chris Block is a really good turf racer. He does really well over the Arlington Park. What was the Arlington Park turf course back in the day when we would do the Arlington Park cards. So I have no problem taking another mystery at 6 to 1.
All right. So no offense to anybody out there. We did choose to skip the $400,000 Fairgrounds Oaks. A little bit short field for having 4 of us. There were only actually 5 entries, so we did go ahead and skip over that. And the final race in this sequence will of course be the Louisiana Derby, which is race 12 on the race card. They're going 1 mile and 3/16. For those of you who are keeping track out there on the Kentucky Derby Trail, this race is worth 100 Kentucky Derby points to the winner. 40 points will be awarded to second place, 30 points to third, 20 to fourth, and 10 points to fifth. Again, this is the twinspires.com Louisiana Derby. Grade 2, purse is $1 million for 3-year-olds only. And your morning line favorite is in post number 2. That is Instant Coffee, trained by Brad Cox, written by Luis Saez. 2 to 1 on the Fairgrounds morning line. And, excuse me, sorry about that.
Steve,
Steve.
go first.
Yeah,
I
Steve.
think I'm up.
Yeah,
Right?
Steve. I believe you're up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take another Flavian Pratt horse. Well, with King's Barn, the 6. Uh,
Oh, there we
Chuck
go.
Fletcher, Flavian Pratt. Um, it's by Uncle Mo. The horses one is 2 starts. One's last race by over 7 lengths, almost 8. Had a nice 4 furlong workout, but I don't know. We'll see if the horse can keep it going. I'll go with King's Barn. Rick?
I was hoping to catch lightning in the bottle here with a newcomer, so you beat me to it, Steve.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm on the same horse, Kingsborn. I'm a big Pletcher fan, and this looks like he has good promise, and definitely step up in class to this race. But he ran 2 good races, and he looks like he's a sharp horse, and it's a matter of handling the competition of the current horses like Instant Coffee and there's a few other ones like that. Curly Jack's been running well a few times, but look, listen, they pay 800,000 for the horse. He had two, you got through his conditions. The last race, I mean, that's kind of like a allowance of 9 wins of one. He won by 7, so you know the figure might have been lowered by maybe they might have eased up a little bit at the end. So that's a good time for Tampa, a mile and 40 yards. So he looks like he's a good one. Hopefully going forward, he's out of Uncle Mo, and I've seen his horses develop, and down the road when he's 6 for 6, you think they'll be talking about him all over the news. So
yeah.
if he continues, so you never know. These guys, you have to push them to get there. And I give credit for Louisiana for making this race a mile and 3/16 a couple years ago, maybe last year, whatever it was,
Yeah,
because it gives them more stamina. Because I've seen who was it? Gunrunner run this race. So
yeah, yep.
I know
Epicenter.
the horse last year,
Epicenter.
Epicenter.
Epicenter won this race, and it helped them go to Travers and win some other races. So
I think
you know
was it
this is
Midnight
the
Bourbon a
only
couple years ago?
yeah this is the only
Yeah,
race that they go
I
this
think so, Joe.
far before the Derby. So they always cut short mile and 8. So
Yep.
I give credit to Louisiana to stretching them out for another 16th of a mile and get them ready for those long races like the Derby and the Pictus and the Belmont. So Travers and whatever Pacific Classic and Breeders' Cup. So it's a good move and it's a good race, $1 million and a lot of points. And you know, I'm surprised a few other horses aren't here, but you know, what are you gonna do? So I take King's Bond, and hopefully this is the start of his glorious career in the stakes company. So, Joe,
Should I go ahead and take the 6 already now, guys? Just to make race life more miserable than it already
uh,
is. No,
if you like him, take him. It's
actually,
a
I did
year-end
want to ask a question,
competition.
and guys, I know the World Cup is tomorrow, and if I wanted to say that they run a race, at least I thought they used to run a race. Their 3-year-old prep was at a mile and a quarter for at least a short little time.
That
I
the
thought they
Dubai
were running
Oh, the Dubai. Oh,
the
the
Dubai Derby.
the Dubai prep because there's one Dubai prep race for the Kentucky Derby. I'm not sure if it gets points or not, but like I said, back in the day, I thought it was a mile and a quarter. It was really the only race a mile and a quarter. I mean, unless you ran on turf before the Derby. No, I'm not on the 6th, so you guys can breathe a sigh of relief. I'm taking there's a couple other different angles I'm taking. I'm on the 9 Tapis Conquest. He's 10-1 in the morning line. He ran an okay 4th last time. I'm hoping he improves 3rd time off the layoff. But this is more it's 2 things. One is the other Brad Cox. He's got 3 in here. The favorite being one of them. Jace's Road is another one, and this horse, the 9 Tapis Conquest. But this is more a a Manny Franco angle. I'm looking at it, and it's like as a combination over 5 years, they're 26%. It's not. It's like 124 mounts, but it's mostly in New York, Saratoga, Belmont. Um, but what I'm looking at is that he rode this horse in his debut, Saratoga, finishing second, behind Powerful, going 7 furlongs. But the other thing is, and I didn't take a look at the Aqueduct card for tomorrow, but my guess is Manny Franco's given up all the races that he would have been able to ride at Aqueduct tomorrow. And the other thing I looked at is that if you look at the other 5 stake races, ones in the Big 5 sequence, he has no other mount. So really, he came
Oh
all
wow,
this way to ride
this
one.
one horse.
So
Hmm.
I mean, he's given up a lot. Obviously, everybody wants to win the Derby, so maybe that has something to do with it. But give up all that just to ride one horse, yeah, that means something to me. So, like I said, I will take 10. I mean, the 9 at 10-1 Tapest's Conquest, and I'm guessing you'll probably get 8 to 10-1 that range. So, give me
But
the
when I see him Sunday at lunch, I'll ask him
9.
what was his intentions.
Well, the only other thought I had was maybe
Because
he's right. Maybe he's
we'll be in
after this.
Popeyes having chicken.
Well, I was wondering if maybe he's riding at Turfway, because obviously Turfway is not that far. I mean, Louisiana to Kentucky is not that far by helicopter. Maybe you can get there in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the other thought, was maybe he's riding at Turfway, but if not, he's coming all the way to Louisiana to ride one horse.
Yeah. The phone call was made.
Hmm.
Manny, we need you.
All right. I'm gonna hit cleanup, or I'm gonna hit cleanup tonight on the Louisiana Derby. Again, this is the big points race. I'm gonna go back to a horse we actually saw back when we did the Risen Star Stake. So we kind of when we do this tournament, we usually hit multiple tracks. This is our second time back here at the fairgrounds, and Sun Thunder was in the Risen Star Stakes, which is one of the prep races for the Louisiana Derby. So that's Kenneth McPeak and Brian Hernandez Jr. The horse finished second by a length to Angel of Empire. Uh, I'm not quite sure what happened to Angel of Empire, if he's off to a different race or to a different sequence of races that prepare him. But as you can see there, that was a 14 horse field, and the horse finishes just a length off the win there. Gets Brian Hernandez back for that race. As you can see, a bit of a closer, and I'm not sure if that's going to be a successful style here or not. But you are getting 5-1. I am, kind of trailing Joe with just 3 races or three tournament days to go, and so I'm trying to make up some ground here. And I'm going to go ahead and go with Sun Thunder at 5-1 at the 4.
Rich, Angel of Empire is supposed to run next Saturday in Arkansas Derby.
At the Arkansas Derby, Joe?
That's the latest I had heard.
Thanks.
Angel of Empire, yeah.
I gotta say that original star race, there were some horses who were like maybe 6 or 7 lengths behind, and they had early paces of like 100. So that
Yep.
must have been an outstanding pace in the
They were
beginning
flying.
It was fast
because
early. Yeah,
and the race
the
just
speed,
collapsed. Yeah,
the
because
speed did. Yeah, none of the speed was around at the finish. I
yeah,
think the
for
best of
horses
the
to
speed
make
horses
practically 100,
might have
yeah, that
run
was
fifth. Best of the speed horses might have run fifth or sixth in the
yeah,
book,
yeah.
and he beat the others by. The other, I think there were 3. The other 2 ran like probably last or next to last. So
All right, take a look, you guys. That's what I've got here for your picks for tonight.
that's fair, yes, sir.
It looks good to me.
Looks good.
Mhm.
All right, let me go ahead and come on back. And folks, well, you know what? That's how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing. That's kind of how we make the sausage. Each of the players gives us our picks. We put them in. You'll see us, or we'll be texting tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning throughout the day. If there's any scratches, the players are allowed to go ahead and replace their picks as far as the scratches are concerned. I'll just go ahead and populate those without having to come back on the air. But that's essentially how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing. You guys, have you got anything you want to say before we? We're headed. This is the heart of this is this is really the Derby Trail, right? This is the heart of the Derby Trail that we're on now. 100-point races. There's some big time. Basically anybody who wins one of these races, heck, anybody who finishes second in one of these races has a pretty darn good shot of making it into the Kentucky Derby. If you win it, I think you're in.
Oh, any winner of the races the rest of the way are in.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
as long as they're, I mean,
Yeah,
they'll have enough points.
yeah, as long as they
100,
want to.
100 will definitely get.
Yeah.
Unless all of a sudden the Derby becomes a 5-horse field, which I doubt. In the last.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on Tournament Horse Racing. For Ray Torado and Steve Newsom, Joe English, my name is Rich Sharp. Our show is called Tournament Horse Racing. Thank you so much. We will be back next week. You know what? I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and just take a peek over there before I click off for us like that. We'll be back next week. We're going to go ahead and split it up. We've got the Curlin, Florida Derby. We've got the Arkansas Derby. And I think there's also the Fantasy Stakes that's there at Oaklawn Park. So we've got a split card for you. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, we'll be back on the air again next week. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good
Hey
night.
guys.
Yeah, guys.
Good luck.